They call him Kukul Cotton. I am sorry. Let's have some decorum. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are here talking about arguably one of the most important movies to drop in 2022, and that is Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. Now, before I go any further, I want to say that this is a non-spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're good. We won't be talking about any major plot points. We're just gonna be talking about my thoughts, opinions on the movie as a whole, and really digging into why this movie is so important and why I say that it's one of the most important movies of 2022. And then just chatting a little bit, because you know how we do around here. I will also say that this review opinion piece sort of comes from a perspective of like a non-Marvel stan. I really am just here for Black Panther, and in terms of like setup for like the greater MCU or like greater MCU tie-ins and stuff like that, I don't know the most about all of that, so we're just here for vibes. But before we get into anything, if you are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have coming out here. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews now apparently, pop culture commentary, and occasionally some fashion reviews. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, you can subscribe. Right. Also, while you're at it, make sure to leave a like on this video and comment down below because that helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. And also follow me on my socials at TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Imurgency. Heavy on the Instagram because we're almost at 10K and I've been posting an outfit every single day for 30 days. So if you're looking for some outfit inspo at all, you can go check that out as well at Imurgency. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about Wakanda Forever. Now, I've been perusing around the internet to see what the general consensus of this movie was from like actual formal reviewers who are like super into like the MCU and super invested in the universe. And I think something very interesting is being brought up, specifically from creators and reviewers that happen to not be Black. And that is that a lot of these reviews are taking the movie at face value and mainly focusing on the accuracy to the comics, the setup for the next phase of the MCU, and just generally everything except for like the most important part of this movie, and that is its real cultural impact on the Black community. And we need to talk about that first and foremost. Like, I'm honestly not the hugest MCU stan. I stopped really keeping up with it after Avengers, and of course check back in for Black Panther, but the thing about Black Panther is just how much this movie means to the Black community. When the first Black Panther movie came out in 2018, it was met with such praise and such adoration by the Black community because for the first time literally ever in mainstream media, where Black people across the diaspora celebrated and focused on, the Black Panther was our first ever Black superhero that got his own movie. And on the channel, we talk a lot about representation, and the representation of having a Black superhero, honestly, its impacts are gonna reverberate for a very long time. Like, this is one of the first times, at least in my lifetime, that I felt like we had something popular in the mainstream media that felt like it was ours. Like, the Black Panther was released globally for a global audience, but it felt like something that was special to the Black community. Like, that was ours. Like, we got that one. And especially with it being within the superhero genre, a genre that is meant to be a fantasy, larger than life. Like everyone's childhood aspiration, it just really showed itself as like a symbol of Black power and Black progress, Black excellence. And it gave such an impactful message because at the time that the movie came out, back in 2018 was a time where, due to things that were happening geopolitically and culturally, it was like a down time to be Black. Like 2018 was not one of the best times to be Black. So having a movie like this that the Black community could really identify with was not only powerful, but also kind of inspiring and healing. And the man that was front running this, the Black Panther at the time, was Chadwick Boseman. And I don't know if at the time he really knew like the impact that his role would have, but he was that guy. Like, he was the Black Panther, you know? Like, even though the movie was fictional and all, he still became a symbol in pop culture and media as the Black Panther, which is why with his unfortunate passing that this next movie just carries such a different weight to it. Like, Wakanda Forever is not just a sequel, and I feel like a lot of reviewers and stuff miss that. Wakanda Forever is a tribute film. It's honoring the work and legacy of Chadwick Boseman and the first Black Panther, while also trying to respectfully transfer that legacy on. And I feel like that piece is really important to note before we actually get into this review, just because I haven't really seen that context really mentioned. So yeah, this movie is very heavy. And I will say right off the bat, if you are on the fence of whether to see this movie or not, you should 100% see it because without a doubt, it's good. It's quite good. It eats, even. But to get into the review side of things, this movie picks up after the passing of T'Challa, the original Black Panther, and Wakanda is set into mourning. In the scenes, the funeral scene really did do a number it did a number on me. And that really was just a way to start a movie because I already went in tears, shambles even. But I feel like one of the highlights of this movie is just seeing all of the characters that used to be regarded as side characters sort of step up and get their own development and find their own way of grieving and stepping into their new roles. Like this whole movie felt like a giant transition, like a transfer of power of sorts. And I feel like especially with T'Challa's immediate family, like Shuri and the Queen, like they both get amazing development. And it's just really nice to see Shuri become her own character in a sense. Not to say that she wasn't her own character in Black Panther 1, but just seeing more of her character, like seeing her mourn the loss of her brother and how she chooses to move on and grow from that grief was just, yeah. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And I feel like what's really interesting about this movie is seeing how and who becomes the next Black Panther and carries on that mantle. Because without the Black Panther, Wakanda's kind of in a tricky position where they kind of lost their protector. And while they still are the most powerful nation in the world, and this movie does a great job of displaying that, love the world building, love just seeing that level of Black excellence. Like, yeah, they just don't have their superhero anymore. And I feel like in the Marvel world, if you don't have a superhero, like, what are you really doing? And without giving away too many plot points, I feel like that drives some of the conflict of this movie, especially when it comes to revealing who the big bad of this movie is. You know, I will say I did enjoy watching the conflict between Wakanda and the big bad of this movie. However, and if you've seen the movie and when you watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean by this. Why did it have to be those two? Why did it have to be those two? You know, like out of all the options of who could have been fighting, like why those two groups? You know, like I feel like in the grand scope of the whole universe and even with the scope of the Earth, there are bigger fish that could have been fried. But why they do that to those two groups? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm saying, and you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm saying. But interesting. Right. And like I was saying before, this movie got a lot of reactions out of me. Like I laughed, I teared up, I was scared. Like there were a few jump scares in this movie. Like I was not expecting that from a Marvel movie. I was not expecting to be like, ooh. Like y'all could chill out with that one. I wasn't expecting a thriller. I was expecting an action. You know, full range of emotions, definitely got some emotional whiplash. And I can't say that I was ever bored. Like there was not a point in this movie where I personally was bored. I was on the edge of my seat. I was ready for the next thing for the entire 3-hour duration. And yes, this movie is about 3 hours. So I definitely recommend using the bathroom before, getting your snacks beforehand. Because while I was watching the movie in theaters, I saw many people get up and take a bathroom break. And I was kind of concerned for some of them, I'm not gonna lie, because they were leaving during very important parts. So yeah, definitely do your little tinkle before you walk into the theater or during the previews, and just come prepared for 3 hours of, I was gonna say fun, but I can't say that it was fun because this movie was entertaining, but I can't say that it was fun just because of things that happened. Fun would not be the word. Emotional is the word, not fun. Very emotional movie. Like at some point during the movie, Lift Me Up starts playing, and I thought it was holding it together, but really once I heard Rihanna go, lift me up, I was, I'm just thinking back to it now and I'm like, yeah. But overall, I'd say this is a very good movie. Like definitely did the Black Panther franchise justice. And as a tribute film was very tasteful and respectful. Just honoring Chadwick, like he was in a lot of flashbacks in this movie, which is really nice and also very sad to see him and see them pay tribute to him like that. Okay, update. I was just sitting around and I had more thoughts about the movie. First and foremost, what I want to talk about, the post-credit scene. There's a post-credit scene. And that scene, when I was talking about tearing up and crying, yeah. I know it's meant to like set up a bunch of stuff that's going to happen later in like the MCU, but I wasn't prepared for that. Like no one told me to be emotionally prepared for that. So I'm telling you right now, be emotionally prepared for that scene because, oh my God. And then the second thing I want to talk about, I didn't address this enough, but the fashion in this movie. I think about Shuri mostly. Like when she was like in her streets era, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. So if this is a spoiler, you can skip past this. But like the part where she's in America and she's out recruiting somebody, that outfit and then like just her outfits in general, yeah, the costume designer, did exactly what they needed to do because Shuri ate. Everyone ate, really. It was just like a really great film. Everyone looked so moisturized. Curls were popping. Like the queen's white gray hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Enough said.
And I feel like they did the transfer of power, like finding the new Black Panther very well. And side note, I know I said I'm not gonna spoil the plot or like the characters or whatever anyone knew, but there are some new eye candies. There's one in particular that I'm thinking about. Like, he might be a little fishy, but he look good. All right, that's enough out of me. But yeah, in total, I give this movie a solid 8.5 or 9 out of 10. I really did enjoy this movie a lot and highly recommend you see it too if you have not yet already. I personally pulled up to the theater in an all-white suit because I thought that's what we all were going to do because that's what I saw on TikTok. But I pulled up to the theater and I was the only one that really dressed up. So feel free, if you're still waiting to see the movie, dress up, show your respect, or don't, you know, and you could make me look a little wilder than I initially anticipated, but I still ate regardless. But yeah, go out and see Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It's a really great movie. I have so much respect for the team and everyone involved in making this second movie possible because I know it was an impossible job to do, especially after the loss of Chadwick, but they still made it happen. And I have the utmost respect for everyone involved. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I know this video is pretty short. I took a little break last week from making videos because of some things that went down in my personal life that I will have to update you on at some point. But we're back and easing back into things. So get ready for more show reviews and commentary videos. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video because it helps out so much. Comment down below what you thought about this movie. If you've seen it, did you like it? If you haven't, are you planning on going to see it? I want to hear all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. But other than that, y'all, I've been Imurgency and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.